Welcome to Evolution in Controls. I'm your host, Tim Wilson. Thank you for joining us. When we talk about factory automation and technology advancements, the images that come to mind are ones like assembly lines in motion carrying glass bottles, or robotic cells where welding is taking place. It could be semiconductor manufacturing, or pictures of wind turbines turning, or steel mills with molten steel pouring, sparks flying. There's generally a whole range of images that come to mind when we mention automation technology. But there is probably a set of images that do not quickly come to mind. And that subset would be military equipment, or equipment that is used by the military. To think that automation technology and its advancement has not reached into the equipment and manufacturing used for military purposes, well, that would be wrong. The Department of Defense operates on a scale unlike any other. The complexity of these operations means that every component plays a vital role in the success of the mission, and that means solution providers must be especially prepared. Evolution Motion has such a group dedicated to providing solutions for the defense industry. Here to talk with us about this group, our range of capabilities, and our successful solutions are Eddie Rodriguez, Defense Sales Representative, and Miley Smith, Defense Business Development Manager. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having
us. Thank you.
So let's start with simple introductions. Eddie, how long have you been with us, and what do you do?
I've been with the company for 14 years.
Wow.
I was fortunate in 2020 to join the Defense Department.
Okay.
So I now handle open solicitations on a daily basis for Army depots, for the Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps.
So you're looking at opportunities to do business.
Correct.
Okay.
At the same time, we handle direct leads from the military bases. Also work with the engineering team to redesign some of these systems that they have, with current projects.
Okay. Miley, how long have you been with us? And tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I joined the team a year ago.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you. And prior to that, I spent 20 years in the Marine Corps.
All right.
Hoorah. Supply chain management stuff, which is, anything from procurement to budgeting to ordering spare parts and gear accountability, kind of all that stuff.
All right. Super. Probably not like being in the military.
Here at Evolution? No, not really. It's different environment for sure, but it's very rewarding being on the defense team, right? I'm still able to support the warfighter, and at my heart, that's always something that's been important to me.
So let's jump right in. Tell me, Miley, how are you developing business for us in the defense sector?
All right. So not only just kind of answering those open solicitations out there. Hey, we have a need, whatever, and we're going to try to help you fill those maybe spare parts, repair parts, whatever it is, but also helping them redesign some of the stuff that they already have, maybe some of the problems that they're facing, to make a product either function better, perform better, to ultimately, like I said, help those warfighters at the end of the day.
So there's a continuous supply portion of the job where something's already manufactured, that either we sell it or somebody else sells it, and you could sell a replacement product, and they come to us for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I always think of defense being custom design stuff. Do we do that?
We do. We can definitely help do that and make those products for them. So a lot of times, they have a vehicle that already comes out there, weapon system that already performs. And as it's being used, they discover, hey, we could add new technology to this. We can make it perform better. We can maybe add another feature to it to just improve the capabilities of that standard war system. And that is something that we can definitely do and help them with.
Eddie, you talked about looking at daily solicitations. Are you looking at websites, or what? How are you finding these solicitations?
Yes, so we have 4 platforms that we use currently.
Okay.
DIBS is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Partspace is another. SAM.gov would be another open solicitation. And these handle just different set-asides. When I mean set-asides, it could be small business. It could also be large business.
We're not a small business, are we?
Not anymore, correct?
Okay, all right.
So we're considered a large business.
Mm-hmm.
But we also deal with companies that do have those qualifications for small business or disabled veteran. So they have set asides for those, and we handle those daily at the same time.
Those opportunities that you're talking about, Miley, are those standard products, or would those involve custom design work?
They can be both. Some of them are commercial off the shelf. They'll take them exactly as the manufacturer makes them. And then other times they'll ask us to maybe change something or modify something for them.
Change a connector out, change a pattern, a bolt pattern or a thread pattern or something like that.
Correct. Or even just improving the seals sometimes. You know, the military equipment works in kind of austere environments, and sometimes it's just not what, you know, standard person. It's not in a factory, controlled temperature. Sometimes it's outside the norm. You know, whether that's the desert or, you know, the Arctic, very cold weather.
So in the industrial sector, when we deal with people involved in the commercial supply or the supply chain, the question is always, why should we do business with you? What is it about? What do we have to offer? What do we bring? Why do they want to do business with us?
Definitely.
What's the answer that you give?
I think the qualifications that we have, right? So we are JCP certified. We do have our ISO 9000 series, you know, and then we have our CMMC, which is our IT certification that says, hey, we're going to handle.
And if you don't have those, you can't do business with them. Is that right?
CMMC is new. In December, federal government came out and said that, hey, you're going to need these certification levels in order to do business with the government. We do have our first level one, and we're waiting to be certified level 2. Okay. So we are capable to do business with the government from the IT perspective and how we handle information. So that, and then
protecting the information.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then our core competencies, you know, being able to provide hydraulic, pneumatic, automation, all in one package, right? So instead of going to 3 different companies to get those specialties, you can come to one place.
All of those technologies that we offer, that we currently do business with in the industrial side, they're interested in those.
Correct.
When you get a solicitation, do you have to supply these qualifications that she talked about, or do you just simply respond to it and prepare a proposal?
No, so you do have to qualify for these set-asides. Having the QA available as well on site, having that training that supports that QA inspection, which the government will come in for some of the critical safety items that we handle for the FMTV project, which is a custom manifold to support our troops. So with that, you have to be qualified, you know, have to go through the training hours as well, just to make sure that you're meeting all the RFID tags that it requires, any test certifications that you need to provide at the time the inspection is being processed here in-house.
Okay. What kind of projects have we worked on? I mean, when I think of defense, I think of tanks and planes and things like that, but there's lots of other things and projects that we've worked on. Can you share some info? I'm sure it's secret, but
so it's stuff, you know, a battery container. So that may not be something that doesn't sound
battery container, something to contain batteries.
Right. It doesn't sound super sexy. It's not the tank that you talked about. It's not the aircraft, but it's obviously super important for the warfighters. It allows them to charge 48 batteries simultaneously in a 12-hour period. So obviously that gets equipment on the road and it keeps it moving, keeps them doing their mission.
They're not going to the store and buying something to charge 48 batteries.
Correct. So it's not something standard that they can buy. There was a 20-foot container design that was available out there, and then we were able to kind of redesign that, make it a little bit more efficient, a little bit more portable. So we moved it down to a quad-con size, which is about a fourth of a 20-foot container, and be able to put all that in there and they can use it.
Did they ask us to do that, or was that our idea?
That was something that was presented to us, that they needed it.
That they would like it, they would like it to be smaller than it is.
Correct, and perform a little bit better and not be as big and robust.
So they didn't have a fully defined spec that they came to say, hey, build this. They said, hey, we'd like this to be different.
Correct.
And so is that part of what we bring to the table? We have the ability to go in and redesign potentially what they what they have currently have?
Yeah, I think absolutely. We have an outstanding team of engineers that can help, kind of help them paint the picture, right? They
Okay.
kind of come with an empty canvas and we kind of make it exactly what it is that they need and fit their needs and their requirements.
A
And
battery charger.
that's just one example, of many. And another one would be the AAV cylinder. So the Marine Corps has a assault amphibious vehicle,
Yeah. Okay.
and that vehicle has a recovery vehicle that goes with it, right? So you can't take a normal wrecker to pull that vehicle out when it breaks down.
Yep.
And it has a hydraulic cylinder on there. And that cylinder wasn't performing to the standard that the Marine Corps would like for it to.
So they recognized that it wasn't doing what they wanted it to do or not doing it well enough.
Correct. And so we were able to go in there, redesign that, and produce something that is going to meet their needs, that is going to be able to perform as they expect it and as they want it to.
Is that what we see on the picture up there? Is that cylinder that you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Huh. And so we redesigned it then.
Yes.
And we had to do all of the testing, and we came up with the designs and provide them the information on it.
So they had their initial requirements. It has to be a certain size because it's going to fit on this vehicle, and some very special, we only have so much room here and we need it to be in this. So they did have some of that.
Okay.
And then they had some kind of wish list items, right? We want it to do this and we want it to do that, and we want it to perform at this level, and we were able to kind of meet those standards and those needs that they had.
It seemed like a very iterative process. You go around the circle. Hey, we can do this. Okay, can it do that? Hey, we can do this. And you're going around and around as you redesign it then.
Right. And then final testing happened here on site. So, the Marine Corps was able to be a part of it. The OEM was able to be a part of it and test it to their standards, to their requirements.
So we weren't actually dealing with the government directly on that. We were dealing with an OEM on that.
Yep. Absolutely. For that project, that was with the OEM, and they're going to put it on the complete vehicle, and then that's going to go to the Marine Corps at the end of the day.
Fascinating. Where do you think this business is going for Evolution Motion? I mean, you've been here a year. You've been here a good time with us. What do you think the next 3 to 5 years looks like? Where do you want to be in 3 years or 5 years from now?
Continued success, obviously.
Yeah.
Just from 2020 till now, I've just seen the growth in the department.
Okay.
Our engineers being more hands-on with the redesigns with our troops. Also, at the same time, you learn something every day, right? You learn something every day, and which that motivates me to keep pushing for sales. At the same time, I feel like we're just scratching the surface because we also have hands-on training that we can provide these troops. Come out to their facilities for basic and advanced, obviously.
Our hands-on training school.
Yes.
Take that show on the road and go to the bases and provide the training.
Yes, sir.
Could we could perform that training on the base?
Yes, we could. And that's what we're working on currently. Trying to get more of the Army bases to allow us to come on their base and provide this training for these guys.
So that would be an opportunity that you're not finding on the boards that you were talking about. That's something that we're trying to generate the interest in that.
Correct.
I like it.
So-
I like it. Miley, what do you think? You've got 1 year under your belt now. Where do you want to be 3 to 5 years from now?
I would really like to see us on the industrial bases and kind of improving their facilities and how they maintain their equipment, and just bringing some of the technology that we have here that we already provide to our commercial customers and provide that to the military also.
So we would have a permanent presence on a military base.
Correct. So we'd have equipment that's, in their warehouses where they maybe, rebuild engines, or maybe a conveyor system or robotic arm or any of that kind of factory automation that we talk about. We could bring that to the military customers and help them speed up their process, and whether that's rebuilding something or maybe that's assembling something for the first time. I would hope to see us there in the next 3 to 5 years for sure.
That sounds like a great goal to have. That'd be awesome. Have some of our automation stuff directly on the base with our presence there. I like that. Maybe what we'll do is we'll have you guys come back in a few years and you can give us an update on how we're progressing on doing that. Because it's not going to happen tomorrow.
No. It's definitely not a fast process.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to stay in touch to see if we can talk about it in the future.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Guys, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Tim.
To learn more about Evolution Motion Solutions, visit evolutionmotion.com. Don't forget to subscribe to Evolution in Controls on whatever platform you use for podcasts or on YouTube for a video version so you can be updated when we release new episodes. Thank you again for joining us today. I'm Tim Wilson, and remember, keep moving.